In this video, I gave myself 5 in-game days to mine a single diamond, but obviously that's too easy, so I amped up the difficulty just a bit. In doing so, I unleashed numerous dwellers into every world I play to make doing so much as finding a diamond as horrifying and as difficult as ever. So without further ado, let's begin. I booted up Minecraft in my custom 1.19.2 mod pack, created my first world, and loaded in. Off rip, I spawned right on top of a common forest, and it immediately began to rain. As my computer fiercely fought to load the rest of the surrounding chunks in the world, an untimely guest spawned right above me, and long story short, I was immediately wiped out. This made me realize that this challenge was not going to be easy in the slightest. Now with a slight taste of what lay ahead of me, I deleted that world, made my second one, and hopped right in. Right on spawn, I found myself on a beach. With more pep in my step, I made a beeline for my first tree. Not 2 seconds later, the same creature, now known as Vapor, spawned on me from above yet again. I rushed towards the nearby water, and my game began to stutter. As my computer fiercely fought for frames, I fought for my life as Vapor drifted my way. I rapidly swam at a whopping 5 average frames per second, and as I began to drown, Vapor vanished. I regrouped myself back on the beach, dug a small hole, and gathered some stone. In the midst of this, I started to hear various unsettling cries and screams, signifying that this challenge was about to get a lot harder. After gathering stone, I foolishly left it to sit on my hotbar, not even taking 2 seconds to create stone tools. I began to explore. Off another side of the beach, I choppily discovered a small shipwreck with barrels containing food, iron, obsidian, and random obscene materials that I took for no other reason other than just to have. Obviously, I came at this challenge with all the brains. I swam back to shore, killed some sheep, barely escaped an encounter with what I believe to be creation, SCP-4975 and the Yeti. But just as I thought I would successfully evade all these enemies, I accidentally met the gaze of the infamous Goatman. I towered up, scared out of my wits, and watched as the Goatman ran back and forth below me. Eventually, he climbed up, hit me, and disappeared as if to poke fun at me for my cowardice. Atop my tower, I crafted a bed, slept, and descended. I gathered the courage to descend even further into a cave just under where I towered. I found coal. As I settled into a corner of the cave, I decided to explore a tad. I did find some iron, but it was heavily guarded by the wonderfully timed cave dweller. I made my way back to my little hidey hole, and unfortunately so did the cave dweller. With newfound anger, and with the waves of chill subsided, I deleted that world, created a new third world, and got right to it. Immediately, I was faced with a small hillside plains with a single tree behind me and to my right. I swiftly chopped it down, and it yet again started to rain. I dug down and perplexedly found myself in a small cave that looked like I totally set this world up. I didn't. I gathered the nearby coal and explored further. As I was crafting, the fearsome and formidable Goatman seized the opportunity and fiercely cracked my skull on the crafting table. Shakily, I deleted that world, created my fourth, and booted my way in, with every death being a learning lesson. Off rip, I spawned directly in the middle top of a tree, and I bludgeoned my way down through the bark to the ground, creating a wooden axe and a wooden pickaxe on the way down. I explored my rainy surroundings, and with a stroke of luck, I found surface coal. As the screeches of my demise grew louder, I burrowed my way into a wall. I made a large burrow as well as a dweller trap that only I was smart enough to get across. In expanding the trap hole, I fell into a cave and met my demise to the horrifying corpse stalker. Slightly losing hope, I deleted that world, created a new one, and loaded in. I spawned next to one of the few Man from the Fog structures, which unfortunately held no useful loot. I made a burrow under the structure since it just looked perfect enough to peek out of. I set up my viewing area, and as I was expanding my room, a raging SCP-4975 dropped in front of my face. I backed up into the further corner of my room, clueless as to what I could do in this situation other than wait for him to despawn. He did not despawn. For 5 grueling minutes, I hacked away at the creature's legs, and as I was sure I was going to escape with my life, I underestimated the power of the rain, and Valem finished me in a single blow. Suddenly remembering that I had to utilize a small window between world creation and the first wave of creatures to spawn, I deleted the existing world, created my 6th world, and got right to business. I found myself on a beach surrounded by plains and winding rivers, so I hustled towards the nearest tree. Next to the small patch of trees I was mining at, there laid a gash in the ground, revealing a small but sufficient vein of iron. Unfortunately, as I was making my way towards the iron, I found myself face to face with the entity known as Creation. Fortunately, he got himself stuck in a small waterfall, which allowed me to mine the iron and haul myself out of there. Night fell quickly, and I had zero shelter to settle into, so I made the decision that would completely change the way I approach this challenge from this world forward. I swam to the bottom of the nearest body of water, crafted doors to breathe, and settled right there as my shelter. And then the craziest thing happened. I had to log off. Day 2. As I booted my world back up, I was immediately greeted with a generous 1 frame per second. As I fought to remember what I needed to do, my laptop fiercely fought for frames, and as I resurfaced in the morning, I discovered the reason why. I gathered some more wood on the surface and descended down to my hideout, where I was busy expanding my base below the water. As I attempted to settle, the most inconvenient entity that could spawned. Vapor. I sought refuge in the small cave I had excavated, but as I creeped back up, somehow Vapor managed to wipe me off the face of the earth through my freaking roof. In a fit of frustration, I aggressively deleted the world, generated a new 7th one, and got right to work. I spawned atop a common forest, similar in initial looks to my first world. I immediately began to chop my way downwards, gathering more wood, and I set off to explore my surroundings, mainly to look for a low body of water. And a low body of water was what I found. I realized I was atop a steep mountain, so I descended into the grassy canyon-like terrain, swam to the bottom of the water, set up my base of doors, and burrowed into the wall neighboring my newly created bubble of air. Now what I was about to do was going to be another monumentally useful strategy that changed the way I approach this challenge. A strategy I call the Endovius strategy. If you have no idea who Endovius is, he's basically Technoblade incarnate. Please go check him out, it is so worth it. So the plan was simple. Create trapdoors, crouch using the trapdoors, and strip mine safely in a 1-block space. I utilized this strategy for quite a while, even stumbling upon a cave and enough iron to make a pickaxe. And just as I thought I was set, guess who freaking showed up? The Goat Man, crawling in my paws. I swiftly blocked the opening and waited until he despawned. Once he left, I blocked all the useless side openings, leaving a linear burrow for extra safety. As I made my way back out, I saw Nightmare.jar peeking through the blocks in the area where the blocked off cave was, and in my impatience, I attempted to scooch my way around him. But like Vapor, he slashed me dead through the wall, and my run was over. With my attempts stacking up, I grew more and more determined to finish this challenge and surmount these dwellers once and for all. So I deleted the world, booted up my 8th world, and locked in. I spawned atop a birch forest, and my computer greeted me with a generous 2 FPS. I gathered a hefty amount of wood, crafted my tools, and made a beeline for the ocean. As I had 0 coal, I cooked up some charcoal and made some torches. Afterwards, I resurfaced and explored my surroundings in my trusty boat. I almost had an encounter with the Yeti due to the world's slowest chunk loading, but I managed to escape unseen. While sailing in the opposite direction, Vapor freaking spawned. At this point, I was getting very tired of this guy showing up and having me run for my life almost every single run. So this time, I Tokyo drifted my way out of it at a stunning 2 to 5 FPS. Afterwards, I sailed further, and to my happy surprise, I heard the cry of my own creation. Then I found myself a tucked away spot, burrowed, and heard my boy again. Oh, and the cave crawler gave me a visit. After a bit, I naturally ran out of wood, so I frighteningly chopped a small set of trees and went back into my burrow to begin my ladder descent to diamond level. As I mined my way down, I came across a cave. I lit it all up because I thought it would then be safe. I was horribly mistaken. Day 3. I knew the drill by now. Delete world, load new one, lock in. I spawned in a hilly savanna biome, chopped down a few trees, found some quick coal in a cave, and got to swimming. Just as I began to swim though, the headache, known as vapor, spawned. I nearly drowned, but I managed to escape. And from there, I came across a Badlands biome. Eureka at a stunning 10 FPS. I hadn't put 2 and 2 together yet, but this biome was perfect for me if I was to get down to a good Y level, since there was an abundance of sticks, which I could exploit like hell to get as many ladders as I want. But I didn't really do that. Instead, I found a village, had way too many close calls at way too small a frame rate, and then I had to log off again. Day 4. This day, I felt extra cocky for no reason whatsoever. I gathered a ton of sticks, taunted a ton of dwellers, and paid my price in full real quickly. Delete, create, reattempt. I spawned in a mountainous Badlands biome, and I immediately started to gather sticks. I made no effort to grab myself any tools nor any blocks, and just as I noticed the bad omen that these little red guys are, I was instantly destroyed by Rosemary. This was not looking good. Delete, create, reattempt. I spawned on top of a common forest, just as I had in the very beginning and in the very middle of this challenge, and I was determined to make this the end. I chopped a handful of trees and was met with a mysterious guest, a guest that I assume is a part of the Slumbering Omen mod. He left after short notice, or she, I don't know. I made a boat, explored at expense to my frames, and found a stone island containing a generous amount of coal, with 0 iron. I isolated myself at the end of the island, and I'm glad I did, because Creation, Valem, and SCP-4975 spawned in the same spot. After making some tools, I descended to the depths of the lake. I set up my doors, tried to make a break for the iron I spotted, but to no avail, and then had to run in circles because vapor freaking spawned. And with the Slumbering Omen blocking the surface, I had little places left to go. After that nuisance was gone, I expanded my air pocket and began my descent downwards. I quickly realized that I was at 3 hearts, so I decided to cook up some fish and heal myself back up. As I was mining downwards, I came across 2 glorious pieces of iron. Unfortunately, not enough to make a pickaxe, but it was a start. In that moment, I was only focused on getting down and finding diamonds. And with the world shrieking in terror around me, I felt as scared as ever. I had never come this far before, and the moment I reached Deep Slate was the moment I knew that this run was it. I descended further, avoiding a cave I came across, having flashbacks to getting slaughtered through walls multiple times, and in a beautiful stroke of luck, I mined straight down directly onto diamonds. I couldn't believe it. I was this close, but unfortunately for me, I had only 2 pieces of iron, so I decided to strip mine. I mined for 30 whole minutes, but reaped no benefits. The only thing I got out of it was an absolutely bizarre sighting. A party consisting of nearly every dweller existent in the world, stuck inside the opposite end of my tunnels, unable to get to me due to my strategically placed trapdoors sectoring off parts of the tunnel. I laid there in awe at the sight, but remember what my goal was, so I ascended to the surface, gathered a whole vein of iron instead of just one because I felt like it, and went back down. This was it. This was the moment I grinded for. 4 days straight of screams in my ear and death after death. This was liberation. Freedom from the confines of this challenge. And I had done it. Diamonds. I hope you all enjoyed the journey as much as I did. This was a real challenge. In the past, I've never done anything of this sort, in something like Minecraft before, and this was a really great and super fun learning experience. The strategies I developed were not of my own, of course, and the people I've seen them from probably aren't the original inventors either. But here's to Endovius. Without him, I probably would have failed this challenge 100-fold. And here's to you, getting all the way to the end of this video. I'm not going to ask you to subscribe, I'll let that be of your will. But all likes and subs will be greatly appreciated, and they'll help me be able to make more videos just like this one. Again, I hope you all enjoyed, stay safe out there, and thanks for watching.